Today, let's talk about using English at the airport. Traveling can feel stressful, especially when you need to communicate in another language. Have you ever used English at an airport before?
Yes, I have. The airport is one of the places where English feels very important because you often need to ask questions or understand instructions.
That's true. When you arrive at the airport, what is usually the first situation where you need to speak English?
The first situation is usually at the check-in counter. You may need to confirm your ticket or show your passport.
What kind of simple English can someone use at the check-in counter?
They can say, "Here is my passport," or "I have a reservation." Simple sentences are enough.
That sounds manageable. After check-in, what comes next?
Next is usually security. Sometimes you may need to listen carefully to instructions, like putting your bag on the scanner.
Listening is very important there. Do you ever feel nervous in that situation?
Yes, especially when the instructions are fast, but airport staff usually use simple English.
After security, many travelers look for their gate. What if someone cannot find their gate?
They can ask, "Where is gate 12?" or "Can you help me find my gate?"
That's very useful. What other situations may require English before boarding?
Sometimes you may need to ask about the boarding time or delays.
What simple question could someone ask?
They could ask, "What time is boarding?" or "Is the flight on time?"
And once they reach the gate, they might also want to confirm their seat or boarding group.
Yes, they might want to confirm those details. They can ask, "When is my boarding group called?" or "Is this the correct line for boarding?"
Those are simple but helpful questions. Once boarding begins, what kind of English might be useful when entering the plane?
A traveler might need to show their boarding pass and say something like, "Here is my boarding pass."
And after entering the plane, finding the seat can sometimes be confusing. What can someone say if they need help?
They can ask a flight attendant, "Can you help me find my seat?"
That's very clear. What about placing luggage in the overhead compartment?
If they need assistance, they can say, "Could you help me with my bag?"
Good point. During the flight, are there situations where English is still important?
Yes, especially when listening to announcements or asking for something like water or food.
What simple request could someone use?
They could say, "May I have some water?" or "Can I get a blanket?"
That keeps communication polite and simple. When the plane is about to land, what should travelers pay attention to?
They should listen for instructions about arrival procedures and safety.
And after landing, there are more steps at the airport. What is usually the next place where English is needed?
At immigration, travelers may need to answer basic questions from an officer.
What kind of questions might they hear?
Questions like, "What is the purpose of your visit?" or "How long will you stay?"
Those can feel intimidating. What simple responses can someone give?
They can answer, "I am here for tourism," or "I will stay for 1 week."
That's straightforward. After immigration, travelers often need to sign their luggage.
Yes, they may need to look for the baggage claim area.
If they cannot find it, what could they ask?
They could ask, "Where is baggage claim?" or "Which carousel is for this flight?"
And once they collect their luggage, they might need to ask about transportation to their hotel or destination.
Yes, they might need to ask about transportation options. For example, they can ask, "Where can I get a taxi?" or "Is there a bus to the city?"
That's very useful. Airports can feel confusing, but simple questions can make everything easier.
Exactly. You don't need complex English to communicate at the airport. Clear and simple sentences are enough.
And the more you practice these small conversations, the more confident you will feel when you travel.
Yes, confidence comes from practice. Even short questions can help you navigate the airport smoothly.
Before we finish, what advice would you give to someone who feels nervous about using English at the airport?
I would say keep your sentences simple and speak calmly. Most airport staff are helpful and understand basic English.
That's reassuring. Airports may seem stressful, but they can also be a great place to practice real-life English.
Yes, and every small interaction helps improve your communication skills.
Yes, transportation is often the next step. Travelers might need to ask about taxis, buses, or trains. What simple questions could they use in that situation?
They could ask, where can I get a taxi? Or is there a train to the city?
And if they want to make sure they're choosing the right option,
They could ask, which one is faster? Or which one is cheaper?
that's helpful. Sometimes travelers also need to find the information desk.
Yes, they could ask, where is the information desk?
And what if someone loses their luggage?
They might need to go to the lost baggage office and say, my luggage is missing.
That can be stressful. What details might they need to explain?
They might describe their bag and say, my bag is black, or it has a red tag.
Simple descriptions can help staff understand quickly.
Yes, and they might also need to provide their flight number.
What about asking for directions inside the airport?
They can say, excuse me, where is the restroom? Or where is the exit?
And if they need help finding food,
They can ask, where is the food court? Or is there a cafe nearby?
airports often have many signs, but asking directly can feel easier.
Yes, especially if someone is tired after a long flight.
Speaking of long flights, some travelers may need to connect to another flight.
In that case, they can ask, where is the transfer desk?
And how could they ask about the next flight?
They could say, where is my connecting flight?
That's important. Missing a connection can be stressful.
Yes, but asking early helps avoid confusion.
Sometimes flights are delayed. What could someone ask then?
They could ask, is my flight delayed? Or when will the next update be?
Good examples. And if they need to wait for a long time?
They may want to ask about waiting areas by saying, where is the lounge?
That's practical. Some travelers also look for charging stations.
Yes, they could ask, where can I charge my phone?
And if they need help with Wi-Fi?
They might say, what is the Wi-Fi password?
Technology is very important while traveling.
Definitely. Staying connected makes travel easier.
If someone wants to exchange money, what could they ask?
They could ask, where is the currency exchange?
And about using an ATM.
They might ask, is there an ATM here?
Very useful. Some travelers may also need medical help.
In that case, they can ask, where is the medical center?
Safety is always important.
Yes, and knowing how to ask for help can make a big difference.
When travelers leave the airport, they often want to confirm their ride.
They can say, is this the taxi line? Or is this the bus to downtown?
Clear communication helps avoid mistakes.
Yes, and even simple English can guide travelers through many situations.
If someone feels unsure, they can always start with a polite phrase.
Yes, saying excuse me before asking a question is always helpful.
Politeness makes conversations smoother.
And it encourages people to respond kindly.
Traveling through an airport involves many small interactions.
And each interaction is an opportunity to practice simple English.
Even short questions can build confidence.
Yes, every small step helps improve communication.
As travelers continue their journey, they may also need to confirm their destination with the driver.
Yes, they might want to confirm by saying, is this the way to the city center? Or can you take me to this address?
That's very helpful. Clear communication with the driver can prevent confusion.
Exactly. Even showing the address on your phone can support simple English.
And if someone is unsure about the price,
They could ask, how much will it cost? Or is this a fixed fare?
that's practical. Knowing how to ask these questions can make travel smoother.
Yes, and confidence grows when travelers use simple phrases successfully.
From check-in to transportation, English plays a role at every step.
And understanding just a few key expressions can make the whole journey easier.
Thank you for joining this conversation about using English at the airport.
We hope these simple phrases help you feel more confident when you travel.
Remember, clear and calm communication is more important than perfect grammar.
Practice these expressions and use them whenever you travel.
Thank you for listening to English for Beginners Daily.
Keep learning and enjoy your journey, one simple conversation at a time.